Some of World War II's toughest divisions never got the glory. While some divisions became legends, many others fought in difficult conditions and pulled off impossible feats, yet history barely remembers them. These are the divisions that did the dirty and decisive work, but proved indispensable. The U.S. 10th Mountain Division is often overlooked because it formed late in World War II and fought mainly in Italy rather than higher-profile theaters. Built from National Ski Patrol recruits, it was America's only unit trained specifically for mountain and winter warfare. At Camp Hale, Colorado, soldiers mastered skiing, climbing, and cold weather survival, making them uniquely prepared for alpine combat. Deployed to Italy in late 1944, the division first saw action in January 1945 against the German Gothic Line. Their most famous feat was the surprise night assault on Riva Ridge, where 700 men scaled 1,500-foot cliffs previously considered unclimbable. Capturing Mount Belvedere soon after broke German defenses and opened the way into the Po Valley. In 114 days, the 10th defeated or routed 5 German divisions and contributed in forcing the surrender of nearly 1 million troops. After the war, veterans helped build America's ski and outdoor recreation industry. The Soviet 284th Rifle Division is often overlooked as just one of hundreds of Red Army divisions. In reality, its second formation under Colonel Nikolai Batyuk played a decisive role in the Battle of Stalingrad. Arriving in September 1942 with about 10,000 men and many without weapons, the division was tasked with defending Mamayev Kurgan, a vital hill overlooking the city. For 133 days, they defended this position against a relentless German onslaught and saw their numbers dwindle to a mere 3,500 by early October. The shattered terrain of Stalingrad became infamous for having more metal splinters than soil. By preventing German control of the hill, the division ensured the survival of Soviet positions and enabled Operation Uranus, which encircled the German 6th Army. For its valor, the division was redesignated the elite 79th Guards Rifle Division in March 1943. The Japanese 5th Infantry Division is often overlooked as just another Imperial Army unit, yet it was one of the most experienced and effective. Before the war, it fought extensively in China, giving it combat-proven veteran status. In December 1941, under Lieutenant General Takuro Matsui, the division spearheaded the invasion of Malaysia and Singapore. It conducted amphibious landings in Malaya, then rapidly advanced south using motor transport, engineers, and bridging equipment. At the Battle of Jitra, it decisively defeated Allied forces, which paved the way for Singapore. During the February 1942 assault, it led the Sarimbun beach landings and captured critical objectives like Tengah Airfield and Bukit Timah Road, breaking the defense of Singapore. After 1942, the 5th Infantry Division shifted to garrison duties across the Dutch East Indies and held isolated islands with little supply. Though bypassed, its presence tied down Allied surveillance and contained Allied forces north of Australia until August 1945. The German 90th Panzergrenadier Division is often overlooked and overshadowed by the fame of Rommel's Afrika Korps. It was destroyed in North Africa and then immediately reformed in Italy, which blurred its original identity. Initially created in 1941 as the 90th Light Division, it fought at Gazala, Tobruk, and El Alamein before retreating into Tunisia. Even when reduced to fewer than 6,000 men, 90th Division stubbornly defended positions like El Guetar before surrendering in May 1943. Within months, it was reconstituted in Sardinia as the 90th Panzergrenadier Division, incorporating surviving veteran troops and new recruits. In Italy, it acted as a mobile fire brigade and regularly shifted to crisis points, including Anzio. On the Gustav Line near Cassino and later the Gothic Line, the 90th Division skillfully used terrain and rear guard tactics to delay Allied progress. Despite shortages, it held out until April 1945 and tied down massive Allied forces for 2 years. The French 4th Moroccan Mountain Division is often overshadowed in World War II history as its achievements generalized under the broader Free French effort. Built in May 1943, it drew 2/3 of its manpower from Moroccan tirailleurs and Spahi cavalry, which were led by Europeans. The division first proved its value in Corsica before joining the Italian campaign. During Operation Diadem, its Gumir contingent achieved a legendary breakthrough by scaling the impassable Arunk Mountains, which bypassed German strongpoints and collapsed the Gustav Line. This maneuver directly enabled the fall of Monte Cassino and the liberation of Rome. Later, the division fought in Operation Dragoon, the Colmar Pocket, and advanced into Austria. Despite controversy surrounding Gumir misconduct, the division's mountain warfare innovation and battlefield success made it one of the Allies' most effective divisions. The U.S. 32nd Infantry Division was a National Guard unit from Wisconsin and Michigan that fought for 654 days, longer than any other U.S. Army division. Often overlooked because it fought in the remote Pacific rather than headline battles, it became one of the most battle-tested formations of the war. Its defining trial came at Bunagona, New Guinea. Enduring nearly 80% casualties from combat and disease, the division still secured assigned objectives. The 126th Infantry's 2nd Battalion made a legendary 49-day march across the Owens-Stanley Mountains via the Kappa Kappa Trail, which proved their endurance. After Buna, the 32nd fought at Sidor, Aitapi, and Maratai before landing at Leyte and Luzon. Their contribution was crucial in MacArthur's leapfrogging strategy. In a feat of valor comparable to the 1st Marine Division, the 32nd Division was also awarded 11 Medals of Honor. Commanded by General Stanislaw Maszek, the Polish 1st Armored Division is often overlooked compared to the Polish pilots' contributions during the Battle of Britain or the Warsaw Uprising. Formed in the UK with veterans of the 1939 campaigns, it was equipped with Sherman and Cromwell tanks before deploying to Normandy under the 1st Canadian Army. Its decisive moment came at the Falaise Pocket on August 19, 1944, when the division seized Hill 262 and cut off German retreat. They held for 3 days against relentless counterattacks. Their stand prevented tens of thousands of Germans from escaping and ensured the Allies' rapid breakthrough into France. Afterwards, the division liberated towns across France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, most famously Breda in October 1944, before capturing Wilhelmshaven in May 1945. Despite Cold War politics, muted recognition, their record was extraordinary. The U.S. 30th Infantry Division was a National Guard unit from Tennessee and Carolinas, rated by historian S.L.A. Marshall as the best infantry division in the ETO. Yet it remains overshadowed by other airborne and armored units. Landing at Omaha Beach on June 11, 1944, the 30th helped secure the breakout during Operation Cobra and incurred heavy losses. Its defining action came at Mortain in August 1944, when Hitler launched Operation Luthcht. The 30th held key terrain, including Hill 314, where about 700 men endured a 6-day siege. Surrounded and undersupplied, they were supported by artillery to repel elite German Panzer divisions. Their stand doomed the counterattack, ensuring Allied success in Normandy. Later, the 30th fought with distinction at the Bulge, the Siegfried Line, and the Rhine. Canadian contributions in Northwest Europe often fade behind the British and U.S. narratives, though the 2nd Division fought some of the hardest campaigns of the war. Landing in Normandy in July 1944, the division endured brutal fighting at Caen and Verrières Ridge, suffering over 1,300 casualties in a few days. After helping close the Falaise Pocket, its decisive role came in the Battle of the Scheldt in October and November 1944. Fighting through flooded terrain and entrenched German positions, the division seized Woenstricht and South Beveland, sustaining 3,650 casualties in 33 days. Their sacrifices opened the port of Antwerp, which averted a potentially catastrophic logistical collapse and enabled the final drive into Germany. Unlike the famed Soviet tank armies, the 38th Guards Rifle Division was one of the infantry shock units that carried the relentless burden of offensive fighting from Stalingrad to Germany. Formed in August 1942 from the battered 4th Airborne Corps, the 38th was immediately elevated to Guard status. It fought in Stalingrad during the encirclement and destruction of the German 6th Army, then continued as a spearhead force at Kursk, Kharkiv, and Drano-Petropavsk. The division helped liberate the Donbass and Crimea before advancing west in the Second Belarusian Front. By 1945, it was fighting inside Germany itself. From Stalingrad through the final push, the 38th sustained high-casualty offensives prevented the Wehrmacht from stabilizing the southern front. The 38th Division's contribution was one of the indispensable but often overlooked. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next videos.